What's up guys? English Dan. Mi 11 Lite 4G. I've had this phone for a couple of weeks now. Let me tell you, I rather like it. Welcome back guys. So yeah, this is the Mi 11 Lite. This is the 4G model. I don't know whether you saw it this morning, but Xiaomi did a conference over in China explaining the new releases, and then a little bit afterwards they did a global release show as well that was showing all the Mi 11 series. Absolutely outstanding. I cannot wait to try and get my hands on a Mi 11 Ultra, because that just looked mwah. Anyway, this is the Mi 11 Lite. Now don't let the Lite make you think that this is a low budget, not very good phone. This is the best phone I have used when it comes to a low price point. This thing is amazing. So first thing I want to say is it's super light. It really light. It weighs 157 grams. This thing is feather light and it makes such a difference. I've been carrying around the S21 Ultra. This thing, sorry I hit my microphone, but this thing is an absolute behemoth compared to this, and it's so refreshing to have something that's in my pocket that doesn't weigh a ton. Sounds stupid, and I always used to put weight with build quality, but not anymore. Xiaomi have knocked it out of the park when it comes to this. So you do have a glass back on here. You can see you got the camera up top there. You got your second camera here. I'll get more onto that in a little while with your flash. And then as we get to the top of the phone, you just get a little microphone hole there. On the side rail, not a lot, rather bland. On the bottom, USB-C. And then obviously you have your micro SD and your speaker. On this side is where your controls are. So on this side here, this is the volume rockers. Nice and clicky. No loose. Something that you would normally get on lower cost phones. You know, the buttons tend to be kind of loosish, but not on this. Power button also doubles as your fingerprint sensor. Talking of the fingerprint sensor on this thing is fast, like real fast. It's great. I actually prefer this to the in-screen fingerprint sensors. I think it's probably the best way of doing it, but it's really quick. You don't have to press down on it, you just tap on the actual button. You don't have to press the power button and it's on. So yeah, you can't go wrong there when it comes to this fingerprint sensor. This phone screams quality. So let's go over some of the specs. It's a Snapdragon 732, so don't panic and be like, oh my god. It actually runs really well with a 90 Hz refresh rate on this. It's an OLED display as well. Has 8 gig of RAM in this version. Now, from what we're seeing this morning, a lot of people are saying you could just get a 6 and 64 gig version or a 6 and 128 gig version. I'm not seeing that. Mine is an 8 gig of RAM version with 128 gig storage. So maybe there's just some confusion somewhere. Maybe the 5G version comes that way where it's just 6 gigs of RAM. But this one I have here is the 4G LTE model, and it does have 8 gig of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. Also has a really nice always on display as well, and you can change that. And that's one of the things with MIUI. You can change so much, but I'll get onto the software shortly. So the glass on the back is impact resistant. The glass on the front is Gorilla Glass 5. So you're getting some really good quality glass when it comes to the display on this. So you know you're not going to just scratch it up if you put it in your pocket with a couple of coins or anything like that. It shouldn't be an issue. I've not had a problem. I've not been using it with the screen protector. That is included in the box. But it does come with a case, does come with a screen protector. And actually I've been rocking it like this and it's been just fine. So the display on this, like I was saying to you before, is an AMOLED display. It's 6.55 inches and it looks really nice. Really nice punchy contrasty colours. Blacks are obviously great because it's an OLED display. Everything just looks good on this. It pops. It's an extremely good display for a light version of a phone. Xiaomi have really gone all out here when it comes to this device, trying to make it as feature packed and as flagship like as possible without that flagship pricing. Also, it has 10-bit color support, which is crazy for a more of a budget focused line phone. The display on it does look great when you're watching something like Netflix or something like that that can support that. It looks fantastic. Media on this device looks really, really good. Like I say, it has HDR10 support as well, so like I say, when you're watching Netflix, things like that, it looks fantastic. It's just a really good panel. Also has like a built-in blue light filter as well, so you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to get eye strain or anything while using this phone. All good. And as I touched on before, it is a higher refresh rate screen. It's a 90Hz screen with a 240Hz touch rate sampling. So it's very, very responsive to the touch. It's just as good as some of the flagships. I mean, it really, it doesn't mess around at all. But yeah, very, very impressed so far. So like I said, this is the 732 Snapdragon 732G. It's built on the 8nm manufacturing process, so it's not the smallest, but it's still a really, really good efficient chip when it comes to it. Very, very impressed with the speed of the 732. I think the 90Hz refresh rate really does help it. Touching on the 90Hz refresh rate with this, when you first take this out of the box, it's going to be set to 60Hz. You need to go into the settings and get the 90Hz in there and just select it as always on. And it is always on. It's there all the time, and I've not really noticed any hit to the battery with it either. So just remember, go into your settings, turn 90Hz on. It's night and day when you use it from 60 to 90. I know a lot of people say they can't notice it. Well, you can with this, because when you're using it on 60 and you switch that button to 90, it's like a totally different phone. Very nice. So when it comes to the storage in this, like I say, mine's got 128 gigs of storage. It is the UFS 2.2, so it's not the quickest 3.1, but it's not meant to be. But it doesn't slow or hamper the phone down in any way. Again, really impressed with the speed of this phone. It zips through things, opens up multiple apps, no problem. It's just a really snappy device. It also has liquid cooled technology in here. Obviously, I'm not going to open it up to look at that, but yeah, that's something else you don't see in a phone at this cost. It's just Xiaomi, they've really gone for it with this device. The whole 11 series is fantastic from top to bottom. I am amazed what they have come out with today. Let's talk about charging with this. Yes, you do get a charger in the box. Yeah, I know, in a time where people are removing them, 33 watt fast charging, and it comes with a 33 watt charger in the box. You can't go wrong with that. It will charge up really quick, from 0 to hero in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Never really let it go all the way flat, but yeah, it charges plenty fast enough. So it does have stereo speakers, one at the top, one at the bottom, and it does sound quite well. Let's give you a little listen. Needless to say, I'm pretty impressed with it. Sound is very clear. It does have a little bit of depth in there as well, but pretty decent sound coming out of these speakers. Very happy. When it comes to other specs on this, it does have Multi-Link 5.0, Dual SIM, Bluetooth 5.1, a host of 4G LTE bands. I've been getting LTE no problem on T-Mobile with this here in the United States. Been rock solid, not had an issue. Wi-Fi 4, Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi Direct and Wi-Fi display. So yeah, it's pretty feature-packed, this device. Oh, and it also has a, off the top of my head, a 4,250 milliamp hour battery, paired with the AMOLED display and the efficient 732 processor in this. The battery in this is easy all day and into the next day. No problem with the battery life whatsoever. And like I said before, if you do have an issue with the battery life, you got 33 watt fast charging included in the box, but yeah, you're not going to have an issue when it comes to the battery on this. So yeah, so that's the phone, that's the specs, that's the things that, you know, on paper people look at. Well, that doesn't tell you the whole story. So using this device is actually a lot of fun. MIUI is not to everybody's taste, but I don't mind it, and this new version on here is pretty good. It kind of reminds me a bit of a cross of the iPhone and the Samsung, but it's very customizable, and that's one thing about MIUI. You can make it the way you want it to look, and I do actually quite enjoy it on this. I'm usually the plain Jane regular like standard Android kind of guy, you know, Pixel or that kind of stuff, but I have actually really enjoyed MIUI on here. It's been actually quite pleasurable being able to decide what I want to do. I mean, as you can see right now, I have it kind of boring. I did download a theme on there and it does look quite good. Like I say, everything punches on the display. It's just been a really nice phone to use. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a powerhouse. It's not going to run like a Snapdragon 888 or an 865 Plus or an 865 or an 855 for that matter, but it does run everything smooth. There isn't really any lag when it comes to having to open up an app. Let's open up DoorDash. I mean, I'm fat. Look at me. Of course, I have DoorDash on my phone, but we'll open up DoorDash. Boom. And look, you see, it's instantly loading. Not a problem. There we go. We're in DoorDash straight away. Submit your order. Submit your review for your order. No, it was pants. Anyway, it's just been really nice to use. It's very simple to use with one hand as well. And I know a lot of people say that, but it really is. It's just nice to use. It's not anything where I have to stretch or just contort my hand to be able to swipe down from the top or things like that. It's just pretty much a perfect size display on this phone. It's just been really nice to carry around. One, because of the weight, and two, because it is actually really snappy. Anyone who tells you that this phone is laggy and is hanging up, well, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something wrong, because I am having no issues with this phone. As you can see, I'm just going to press a random app. eBay is going to open, and then I'll open it up to multitasking. There's eBay open. Let's go back to my YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio is opening, no problem. And then we're going to swipe back home, and then we'll open Twitter. Bang. See, everything opens just fine. And then we can swap between the apps without an issue either. So back to Studio, back to eBay. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Been really enjoyable. And you can game on this, and I'm going to get into that on a separate video, but you can game on this as well. So be prepared to be like kind of wowed with what can happen and what you can get with this device. Now, all of that sounds really good, and you'd think, yeah, he's explained the favorite parts of this. And one thing that normally suffers on a lower cost phone is this thing, the camera. No. This doesn't. So if you've been following me on Twitter, every now and then I've been putting a random photograph on Twitter. And I've explained that this is from a phone I can't talk about. But you'll be shocked when you find out what it is. And the amount of people who have said about some of these photos, looks like the Pixel. It looks like a Pixel photograph. Well, hats off to Xiaomi for that, because it was this thing. I couldn't tell anyone, but people were thinking it, the S21. The S21 Ultra, the Pixel 5, the Pixel 4 XL, the iPhone. Everyone thought it was a much higher priced device than what this actually is. And that really is just hats off. I'm going to play some things you can do with the camera on this, because it is really cool. Other than taking your usual portrait and regular photographs, it's really good for video. It's got some really good stabilization, but it also has some really nice features in there. There's a cloning feature which will be coming up, and it basically puts two of you on a video. As you can see, I did one with my son, I did one with my wife. It looks great. And then there's a video where basically it takes 3 pictures of the person, or however many, and the person will step into their photo. It sounds stupid, but it's great. It's just a lot of fun and something totally different. And the best thing about it is, it's not something you can only see on this phone. You can post it up to your social media, and everybody can have a look at what you've done and be like, wow, man, that is great. And it is great. I think it's a fantastic feature, or features. They also have a thing called vlog mode in this, and it does some really nifty tricks with the camera. And it does it all on its own. You just point and shoot for a couple of seconds each time, and it builds this vlog style photo. Again, I'm going to play some of them. In fact, I'll play some of them right now. Here you go. Let's have a look. lot of stuff. Really impressive. Also has a pro mode in there, 64 megapixel on the main camera. You can take 64 megapixel pictures, plenty of detail in there. The colors really do pop, nice and vibrant. I just think the camera on this is fantastic. So like I was saying, you do have a 64 megapixel camera for your main shooter on here. It's f1.79 as well, so it does pretty good in low light. Sadly, my low light pictures, I don't know what happened to them, so they're kind of missing from this video, but it does do some really good low light. And it also uses contrast autofocus that actually does work quite well. I know on an older camera that I used to use, I think it was the Lumix G7, that used contrast autofocus, and it pulsed quite a lot, but I've not really had that issue with this phone. Also has a 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, which again does do some decent pictures. Very impressed. And then it has a 5 megapixel telemacro camera, so you can get in real close with this thing. Just an impressive array of cameras. And then on the front is a really good 16 megapixel selfie camera that takes some really good portraits. I've just been really, I keep saying really because I'm really impressed with this phone. It's just an outstanding device. I do not know how they have built such a good device and made it run so fast on the platform that it's on for such little money. It's just mind-blowing. I love it. I absolutely love it. One thing this has made me want to do is go out and get more of the Mi 11 series, the Mi 11i and the Mi 11 Ultra. Obviously, they're the big daddies and cost a lot more than this, but I just wish they'd released them in the US. You release these three phones, the Mi 11i, the Mi 11 Ultra, and this, the Mi 11 Lite. There is a 5G version of it with a faster processor. It's the 780 in there. You release those three phones over here, and that is going to cause such a rumble in the cell phone market here, because these offer everything you could want at a much lower price, especially this thing. I mean, if I'm right, and if I'm wrong, I'll update it down below. This is cheaper than the Pixel 4a. Everyone knows I'm a Pixel fan. This is better than the Pixel 4a. Way better than the Pixel 4a. It's just, everything about it is so good. It just screams quality. I love it. Not that the Pixel 4a didn't, but this, it's just, there's levels. And this is levels above the Pixel 4a. It spars with it when it comes to the camera. It's just as snappy. It looks better in my eyes. It's, you know, it's a better built device by the looks of it. It looks a lot like a lot more expensive device. Sounds really good. I'm just blown away. I just wish they'd come to the United States. Whether they do or not, I do not know, but you will be able to import these. And like I say, this phone in particular, the Mi 11 Lite 4G, does work over here in the United States. So don't let that put you off. So yeah, this is the Mi 11 Lite. This is me incredibly impressed, like blown away by it. I think it's an amazing device. You will love it. I guarantee you will be absolutely shocked at how good this device is if you get one in your hands. If you're looking at a phone that's going to be under $500, under $400, under $300, this is the way to go, especially if you're on like AT&T or T-Mobile or Metro, something that takes a SIM card, GSM networks. This will work all day on those, and you're not going to beat it. All right, guys, this is English Dan. This is the Mi 11 Lite 4G. I'll be coming up with some gaming videos soon to let you know what it games like. Keep an eye on the channel. Do me a favor, hit that like button.